this horrific rape in Leamington, because some of the details here are absolutely appalling.
So this
and I'm
just
sharing
happened.
them with you for full transparency about what happened in that case, but I also give a warning before I do about some of them. 2 Afghan asylum seekers dragged a 15-year-old girl into a secluded area of woodland and raped her. The girl...
So 2 Afghanistan... Okay, got it. Yeah.
...cried out for help. Indeed, she managed to record her begging of a passing woman. At one point, a woman is heard asking the 15-year-old, "Are you all right?" The girl replies, "No, help me, please help me. So many people have walked past me. I want to go home. Please, please, help me. They are going to rape me."
So everybody just basically just let this... Oh my God, that's sick.
The girl, who can't be named because she is entitled to anonymity,
underage,
the court was told eventually managed to get away and recorded several selfie-type videos demonstrating what they say was extreme distress, crying and hyperventilating. In a video after the ordeal, she could be heard sobbing, "Oh my God, I've just got effing kidnapped. I thought I was going to be dead. Every single one of these people are driving past me. Help me, someone. Please, please help me. Why is no one helping me? Please, someone." Her mother said in a victim impact statement, "We have watched our vibrant, happy and confident daughter shrink down and suffer from anxiety so bad that she is often physically sick."
I'm glad that people are talking more about this, because the PTSD that one of these interactions creates in a person is like... It's massively damaging, and for some people, the effects of that turn out to be worse than what even happened to them. It's not because they end up killing themselves over it. Like it fucks up their entire life. Yeah, it's life altering, exactly. And especially keep in mind, this is, you're 15 years old, right? I mean, this isn't like a 33-year-old woman having this happen. This is a child having this happen.
This has affected every aspect of her life. Something broke in all of us that day.
Yeah, I bet.
The 2 Afghans who were living
and then also, like, that's another thing too, is that there's the family PTSD, right? Where it's like, not only are you, like, let me give you an example of like how maybe you guys might be able to relate to this, is that have you ever had like a parent that, or like somebody who was older that you were looking after, that had something bad happen to them, like they fell down, they got sick or something like that happened, and you weren't there, like you tried to call them, they didn't pick up the phone, and so like it stressed you out, you came over and there's something wrong? Think about how that probably negatively affected you in the future, right? And like now you're thinking about that. Now you're stressed out about that. So now every time that this family probably calls the daughter, she's not at home, like now they're stressed out about that too, right? So like people don't understand the AoE damage that the PTSD from a negative reaction like this will cause. It's horrifying.
Hotel, having just arrived by boat, have been sentenced to 10 and 9 years in prison. The Telegraph reports that Jan Jadzeb turns 18 in less than a month and will be automatically deported after serving his sentence. But the court heard that his date of birth was unknown, so an age assessment has been carried out by specialists. So I wonder then how we know that he turns 18 in a month if we don't actually know this individual's date of birth. And therein lies a very, very big part of a very, very big problem. We have no idea who these people are. We barely know where they come from.
Here's a good way to look at it. Any of the people that think that this is okay, would you be okay with removing and getting rid of the sex offender list? So basically, like, you don't have to register for being a sex offender. You don't have to do anything, like that at all. And so, like, yeah, there's no reason. So nobody would say that they are in favor of removing the sex offender list, right? Because, well, what if a sex offender, like, I don't want to have a sex offender living near me. They are. Not all of them. And here's another thing. Many people on the sex offender list don't reoffend. They don't. They commit a crime, they do something really bad, and they never do something bad like that ever again. But they're still on the sex offender list. Not allowing people to remove these, like migrants that are totally unvetted is effectively the same thing as just getting rid of the sex offender list. You guys see where I'm coming from with this?
And the rage that I feel about this story, and the rage that you feel about this story, this kind of, actually, I find genuinely barely containable rage, leads to perhaps a desire to bring in a few of the more kind of Trumpian ends of the ideas about what should happen next. And I would quite candid with you, quite a few of those ideas have flickered through my mind. And
I don't think that's the Trumpian. You don't need the Trumpian ideas. It's not good enough. See, don't ever think that that's enough. It's not.
The last 24 hours. But I am trying extremely hard not to let the jerk in knee-jerk win.
Yeah.
However,
it's not a knee-jerk. It's the reality. It's common sense reality.
As the people of Crowborough, where 600 men are about to be deposited in an old army camp, as they set up a patrol group of local residents around the old barracks there, surely that has to be an absolute minimum now for any place housing large numbers of asylum-seeking men. We cannot have groups of random, bored, culturally incompatible men wandering around towns and villages of places unfortunate enough to be burdened with this.
Fucking based. And also, I completely disagree with this. I think that just the notion that you need to have an entire police enforcement mechanism to make sure that these people don't rape your kids, I think that should tell you something like maybe they shouldn't be here. Like, maybe if you need, guys, I think we need an enforcement mechanism that makes it to where all of the rapists are being regulated. Well, yeah. Well, why do you even have it? Like, I mean, think about the question, why are they even here in the first place if you need to have a separate police system now to regulate and, like, basically be a countermeasure for just them being in the country, period. Think, like, who do you don't need to do this for regular British citizens, then why? Like, think about how ridiculous this is. This is crazy. This is like saying, I'm going to hit myself in the head with a hammer, so I need to start wearing a helmet. Well, here, let me give you a good fucking idea. Stop hitting yourself in the fucking head with a hammer, you won't need the helmet.
At a minimum, the rule has to be you cannot leave the facility you're being fed and watered in until we know who you are or until your claim has been processed. Otherwise, the status quo carries on, and I just don't see how anyone can conclude that that is the best way forward, that we just let the same things we've always done keep happening with results being like this. So, what is the response? I'll give you one. This is the former Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Now, you say what you like about Liz Truss, but she was Prime Minister for a bit.
It's annoying hearing you talk like this isn't in every way on purpose. I think it is on purpose, and I think that they are doing it on purpose, and my opinion on how to solve it would get me banned. And what I think should happen to the people that were doing it, like, I'd get banned about my opinion. But you can expect that it's exactly what you think it is.
She's just said these horrific crimes are happening daily in Britain. The whole system, including the mainstream media, is suppressing the truth. She says the Human Rights Act needs to be repealed. All migration from Afghanistan should be stopped. Is that's too knee-jerk? Is that too knee-jerk?
No. It's not enough. Not only should it be stopped, but you need to reverse migration. You need to look at all of the people that were brought here over the last 30 years, and any of them with any criminal charges, immediately remove them. And any of them that are, like, net negative taxpayers, remove them and also seize all of their assets and send them back to the country they came from. Like, it's not enough to just simply stop the problem, because you still have the problem. Like, stopping the problem is good, but you have to also reverse the damage. Go back 2 generations, get the whole line. Yeah, I would do like, let's say, I was born here. Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't care. You've got to go back. Too bad. You're not supposed to be here. Your parents shouldn't have been here. You're not supposed to be here either.
Can't and shouldn't judge the whole by the part.
Yeah.
So we can't judge every person from...
Of course, it doesn't matter. Like, this language that you use is just silly.
Afghanistan on the basis of actions of, in this case, 2 people.
It's not 2 people.
So that's too far for me. But I'm, again, candidly, that thought's crossed my mind too. And I can't, I think the
reality is that there is a small percentage of people that are immigrants from every single country that will integrate just fine. Whether they're from Somalia, Afghanistan, China, Russia, or anything. Like, I'm sure that we have Somali immigrant Americans that have no problems and aren't causing any problems. I don't think we need to send them back, but we need to look at the ones that are doing things wrong, and we need to go after them instead. And the way that you do that is you set up high standards, and then you simply hold people to those standards. That's the way you do it.
The reason why I say I'm not sure that's going to work is it does judge the whole by the part, and that sort of isn't fair.
The entire idea of it not being fair is a total inversion of the moral responsibility that you have to protect your country. Your idea that it isn't fair, and so because you've come to the conclusion that it's not fair, the result of that is that women in your country get raped. How is that fair to them? Your responsibility as a person who's supposed to protect their country or do something to benefit other people is to act in a way that is in the best interest of other people that cannot act for themselves. And this is the big issue that happens, is that you're thinking about, like, from my perspective, you should not even be considering what's fair to Afghanistan migrants. They should be lucky they're here in the first place. They shouldn't even be here anyway. So what's fair to them, even if it is unfair to them, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, the focus should be on your own people. Like, you shouldn't even be thinking about them.
But at a bare minimum, the idea that you would have hundreds of people, and even in the cases where we sort of have a better idea about who they are because they've been through the criminal system, still don't know how old this bloke is, still don't really know how old he is. The idea that you would allow then hundreds and hundreds of people to be housed in areas and they're allowed to wander around and we have no idea who they are. No, cannot happen, cannot be allowed to happen anymore. If this case provokes one response, it has to be that.
But you're an immigrant too. The Indians probably thought so as well. Yeah, and it didn't work. And look how they're doing. They're in reservations now, and their entire civilization is destroyed. We took over the whole country. Indian Americans, Native Americans represent like less than like probably 5% of the population. Their culture is annihilated. Their way of life is relegated to reservations, and basically their entire existence is destroyed. So I think that you can look at Native Americans as a great example of what happens. Do you want to have that happen to you? I don't. So do you not think the new immigrants will do the same thing to you too? I think they will. That's the reason why I would try to prevent them from doing that. I'm confused by what your argument is. So what's your argument about this? Yeah, let me pull this person up. I'll listen to this. So by the way, and I'm not an immigrant. Like my family came to America like 500 years ago. Like, whenever my family was in the country for 500 years, I'm not an immigrant. Sorry. Let's break this down, okay? We're going to break it down. America didn't use 500 years ago, you retard? I know. That's why my family fought in the Revolutionary War to make it exist. Yeah, that's correct. I'm glad that you recognize the math. That's accurate. You arrived from Europe, you stole the land from the natives? Exactly. We did. What makes the other immigrants worse than you? Nothing. Nothing makes them worse. I hold no moral superiority over them. I simply act in my own best interest and in the best interest of my country. I don't care about a moral argument. So might makes right? Yes, absolutely. That can be used against you too? Exactly. That's why I want to prevent from coming here. That's exactly right. I know it can be used against me. That's why I recognize the threat of it, and that's why I want to prevent it from happening. Does that make sense? At least this person's responding. Sure, you're morally superior as new immigrants don't build any new civilization and only create another shithole. That's not my problem, even if they don't. You're making it possible by allowing it? Yeah, I know. That's why I think we should stop allowing it. I agree. And that's why we need to reverse it, because I recognize that threat, and I realize that it's real, and that's the reason why I would want to reverse it. That's my whole point. How many people live on a planet? Someone's going to go after you? Yeah, of course. That's why you have to have a gun, and you have to be able to protect yourself. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why you have to have, like, you have national security, you have countermeasures, you have the CIA, you have the FBI, you have police department, you have home security, you have guns, you have the Second Amendment. Yeah, obviously. We have all those things because of what you're saying. Yeah, I don't, like, I mean, maybe we're deprogramming, right? We got to deprogram people. So, why are we in a circle like a squirrel? Better to not hurt people to begin with? Who are we hurting? Like, I'm confused. Who am I hurting? Like, I'm just so confused by this. Like, I think you're making a moral argument. USA is stealing resources from other countries. They should protect them better. That oil was promised to us 3,000 years ago. I don't understand. Why do you think... Here, let me ask you a question. Why do you think that those other countries don't come in to the United States and steal our resources? Why do you think they don't do that? I think this is an interesting question. It's not a moral argument, it's a fact. Yeah, I know. Why do they not do that? You're promised oil 3,000 years ago. Are you Israel? Yes. So why do these countries not come to America and steal our resources? He's a goyim. There's a lot of goyim out there. I've honestly liked calling people goyim so much, I'm beginning to believe that I might be Jewish. It really feels right for me to call people that. It does. I feel so comfortable calling people goys. Like, it feels like I finally, it's like, you know, like if, like a superhero movie where they finally teach you, they're like, no, Superboy, you can actually fly. Wait, I can? As when you came to America a couple hundred years ago, your parents? Okay, we're gonna go back. The land you live in is stolen from the natives, you can't deny it. I don't deny it, I embrace it, and I respect it. Yes, that's correct, we stole it. And we killed them all. That's right. Yep. Now what? Okay, so I'm confused. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, obviously. Conquered, not stolen? What do you call it? So, this is right? Morals deducted? I don't care what's right or not. It doesn't matter whether it's right or not. Like, what are you thinking about? Like, what's right or what's not right? I don't give a fuck about that. let me go back, because you didn't answer my original question. And the reason why is because it reveals that America is not unique in this mentality. Why is it that other countries don't come into America and steal our resources in the same way that we did to Middle Eastern and South American and African countries? Why is it that they're not coming into America and doing that? Why, though? Because it is. That's why. There's a few reasons. What are the reasons? World wars? Yeah, exactly, because we killed them. What's the other reason? Petrodollar? Yeah, you know what the petrodollar is really backed up by? It's backed up by the U.S. military. Every value of America is at some level backed up directly by the United States military. The reason why these countries don't come in and loot and plunder America isn't because they respect America, it's because we'd kill them. That's the real reason. If we couldn't do that, they would take it over instantly. They would immediately do that. It's backed by Saudi oil and other oils from other countries with the U.S. steals? Of course. And it's in their best interest for us to do that because we help them and they make money off of us. That's right. We have a partnership with them. That's correct. And I think that they're getting their money's worth out of that partnership because we're cleaning the board out of one of their biggest competitors, which is Iran. Iran is a major destabilizer there, and we're blowing them the fuck up. It's because they're our boys. So we're helping them out. The only reasonable person in U.S. politics was Dwight Eisenhower warned the world about U.S. military complex. You know what Dwight Eisenhower did before he did that? He won World War II. He beat the Nazis. That's the reason. Dwight Eisenhower said, like, you know what? You want to say I can't go to Area 51? All right, I'm going to show up tomorrow with the military, the whole army, and we're going to figure out what's in there. But you honestly think that Dwight Eisenhower would say that, like, really? I mean, let me ask you, do you think Dwight Eisenhower would agree that, like, we live on stolen land from, like, the natives or, like, something like that, and we need to give it back? Like, what are you trying to invoke him for? I mean, he doesn't agree with what you're saying. USSR beat the Nazis, mate? Well, we helped. France was not supposed to be in the UN table? Well, they are. France is an ally. France are our OG allies. What are you talking about? Yeah, we sure helped. That's why we had our tanks over there in Germany blowing them up, killing them. You're right, the USSR helped kill the Nazis. They did. So did we. That's right. Eisenhower was after World War II, bud. Hoover dropped the bomb. Well, of course he was after World War II. Because he was a general in World War II, and then he became the president after that. Like, that's the way it worked. How y'all know? Like, damn, bro. Like, really? Really, guys? Like, god damn. So anyway, German generals saw their capitulation documents that are very suppressed. They were very suppressed that the French were there. Well, look, we're getting off topic, right? Like, you're talking about World War II or something else. What my point is that Dwight D. Eisenhower would totally agree with what my perspective on this is. He totally would. And how do I know that? Because very clearly, he won World War II. Like, you have to be able to take drastic military action to solve this problem. It's not like he was letting in 1 million Somalians into America whenever he was president, right? My dad campaigned for Dwight Eisenhower at 5 years old. They had a like little thing. They said, I like Ike, okay? So, like, I know about this. I understand this probably better than you would imagine. So, but you're talking about this, like, as much as you want. But here's really what it comes down to. And I'm going to explain this really quickly. No, we should not be acting in the best interest of people that are not our citizens. Right? When I agree with your point, he's a true patriot of the United States. How many Somalians did Dwight Eisenhower let into the United States? How many? You realize Dwight D. Eisenhower was the president when we didn't have civil rights for black people, right? You understand that? Like, I'm sorry, he was the president during that time. And when he left being the president, they still didn't have civil rights. So this entire idea that like, oh, wow, this guy wouldn't agree with you. And I'm losing brain cells over this. This person's trying to misunderstand you on purpose. I know that. And they are. He made the interstates. Well, he made the interstates because he went over to Germany and he said how good they were doing it. They said, damn, they got this interstate thing going on. This is a good idea. We should do this over here. You're right. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the, he made interstates. 100%. And so anyway, there's some Somalian immigrant bullshit back in the day. Stop moving the goalposts. Exactly. And there wouldn't be now if we had somebody like Dwight D. Eisenhower as the president. He would never let this shit happen. Never. So anyway, let me go back to my original point, okay? Because like we've been going on about this for a while. Here's what my original point is. We should only act in the best interest of our citizens. If something isn't in the best interest of our native citizens, then we should not do it. Period. Full stop. Now, you can make a long-term second-order effect argument that something would be in our best interest, and I'm open to an argument like that. Like, you know, for example, I said that Iran is our best interest is like a second or third order effect, right? Or like Venezuela, right? But on a direct action, why would we allow, like, because this is really the question, why would you allow migrants to come into the country? Stop being silly? No, it's all right. We're going to wrap this up, though. Like, this is going on kind of for a while, so I want to wrap this up. So why would we want to have migrants come into the country that rape kids? Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to let a single migrant into the country? Like, give me the reason for why to go from 0 to 1. Because she's hot? Okay. All right. Maybe like 2 or 3 then. Okay, well, besides that. It's all right. Arrogant, disingenuous chatter? That's okay. You would not want that to happen, but you're shifting the topic? What do you think the topic is? You still talking to this guy? I know. But what do you think what is the topic to you? Eisenhower literally enacted one of the vastest deportation operations ever. You can't even name it because it's a slur. I forgot about this. Right? And so, like, that's what it is. That's what it says. I don't know what you want me to say. Millions of Mexicans had legally entered the country through joint immigration programs. Was primarily a response from pressure from a broad coalition to remove them. Gave rise to the arrests and deportations. There it is. I forgot even all about that. You said the U.S. can steal from other people's stuff. I said others can steal stuff from you. It's simply a truth you have to accept. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. Yes? Of course. Of course people can try and steal things from me. They do. Well, yeah, obviously. That's the reason why we have the government. Is to prevent people, like... Do you think people don't steal things out of a Walmart because they like Walmart? It's because they don't want to get put in jail. That's the reason why. Like, I've already explained this to you. It's the threat of force. They're scared of the consequences of it. That's the reason. Damn, how long is it? This is taking so long, bro. Like, god damn. You're gonna amaze the circular logic. I'll let him respond one more time, and we move on. So basically, bashing head against the wall, same methods will be used against you. I know they will, and that's the reason why you have to suppress and oppress the people that might do that to you in an absolute state, so they can never do that to you. That's exactly correct. That's my exact point. So you have to shut them down and make it to where you are in such an advantageous position that they don't even think about doing that, or they face complete and absolute obliteration. That's the exact reason why we spend $1 trillion on the military. Is so if somebody ever thinks about that, we can blow them all up. Thank God for that.
Somebody, ideally the police, or I don't know, but somebody has to say, I'm afraid, sir, you cannot leave the hotel that you're being housed in until your claim has been processed. Because we don't know who you are.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you shouldn't even let them in. Like, that's it. And I can see why British people are getting angry about this. I can. And I'm not surprised at all. Like, I mean, they should be. They should be very angry about this. And so these current invasions aren't like anything your ancestors America. Oh, I'm sure, right? And propagandists that believe authoritarian will come from Christian nationalists, when in reality it's left-wing pro-Islamic socialists. In a lot of cases, yeah. And those abused girls in Rotherham and elsewhere just need to shut their mouths for the good of diversity. I don't know if somebody said that or not. I have no idea. Can't coexist with people who think raping children is unacceptable. True. I've seen a lot of these, too. Sickening how fast the lawyers are to bury the footage to stop the riots. Honestly, like, you know, like, y'all know what my opinion on what to do about this is, right? She did? Oh, wow, really? Damn. And, like, y'all just let that happen? That's crazy. I guess, like, I mean, I don't know how Britain and, like, the UK is so cucked. Like, it's crazy how cucked they are. Like, people, like, honestly, like, you should be, the moment somebody says something like that, like, you should just deport them. What is actually the reason, what's actually the justification to not just simply take their citizenship, seize their assets, and send them to Africa? A random country in Africa. What's actually the argument to not do that? It's a member of parliament. That's a bigger argument to do it. That's a bigger argument to do it. Exactly. That's how big of a problem it is. Holy shit. Jesus, that's scary. That stress you out. Human rights? What about the human rights of the women that were raped? Nobody ever thinks about that.